Okay, today we are going to see the few more procedures. Last class lo procedures చూసామండి మనం కాంప్లెక్స్ ప్రొసీజర్ చూద్దాం. మనకు ప్రొసీజర్ అంటే ప్రొసీజర్ is nothing but a set of commands. Okay, so procedure is nothing but a set of commands. Each command can execute on any technology. We can write a code in a SQL or in a PL SQL or in a Java or anywhere we can write a code. No need to be write only in a one or multiple things. So the procedure can be any code. We can write, see here, the procedure contains the task. So this is the task name is commit. Command is commit command. So this command here the technology. Here we can select the technology, any technology, because this technology belongs to the SQL. So it's automatically populated because of this selection of this the target logical schema and source logical schema. Based on these transactions, this one. Okay, similarly we can write any code based on this source technology and logical technology. In the last class we have seen each task can have the target technology and the source technology, and we can pass values from source technology to target technology. Target command executes on the target and source command executes on the source side. So this source command uses this source technology and this target command uses this target technology. Okay, so this is the source logical schema. Source logical schema. So this source command executes on this logical schema whatever we selected with this technology. It contains a multiple technologies. So the command technologies can be anything. So we can write any code. Okay, we can write any code whatever you want. And thing is we can customize this code using these options. This is not that much important, but sometimes we have to use. This is nothing but so the options. Options are like a parameters for your tasks. So the options are parameters like your procedures. So general PL SQL procedures have a parameter. So we can pass values to that parameter for execution. So we can control that parameter options with the help of these options. So we can create an option name and the type, what type of option it is. So Boolean, or it is a text, or it is a value. So the Boolean means true or false. It contains a value, Boolean value, true or false. And the value under text, value under text. So value, what is the value we are giving here? 10. Okay, and this is a text. The text means we can write something called as a 10 like this. You can write something. So these parameters can be controlled using this knowledge module option. Everybody is a clear? Everybody is a clear, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay example cheptanu meeku nenu. Okay, let's see knowledge module options and how to use and everything. Okay, before going into this one, so we are going to see the tool called as ODI console. What is this ODI console? And I am show you. This is the graphical ODI console is the web based application. It is a web based application. So mainly deploys into WebLogic server. Mainly deploys into WebLogic application server. So this application will be deployed into WebLogic application server. So the WebLogic server. Okay, we can access this application. This application from any web browser like Chrome, Firefox, IE. So we can access this application from any web browser, Chrome, Firefox and IE. So we can access this application from any. So using this application, using this console application, we can connect to master repository and work repository. Master repository and work repository. Okay. So the repository. So who is responsible for giving an access on this application? So the administrator, WebLogic administrator or ODI administrator. So the WebLogic administrator, admin or ODI admin associate or grant or give access, grants access on this application to your ODI user account. See here, so the URL of this application is this one. Okay, or else you can say simply is this is the application. So whenever I type this application, okay, let's close this. Yes, see here, whenever I type this application, localhost 15101 ODI console. Whenever you click this application, it opens this application. So this is the login window. So here you are connecting to your either work repository or it is the master repository. Okay, work repository or master repository. First, let's create to master repository. So here your ODI username and password. So now here I'm using supervisor. So generally, but in the real time, we won't use the supervisor because we will use the different account. See here. Okay. So I connected to master repository. Master repository as any user. So what is the basic functionality we can do with master repository is the topology configuration. So it has a to browse and management. So if you are in the browser tab, we cannot create it. See here, technology. See here, I can see that technologies. Okay, we can see what is our configuration and everything. So the right click and Oracle. See here, Oracle technology, and this is the information. Okay, it has a 2 data servers. How many data servers we have? If you go open here, under the Oracle we have a 2. Okay, so now if you see here 3, we have a 3. So if you go to your application, we have a 3 here. See 4, actually 4 here. So here also we have a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now each one. So if you double click here, it goes to the different information. So the logical schema level, what is the driver name, what is the user ID, okay, and what are the physical schemas associated to this target local. See here, what is the physical schema? Target local. So physical local. So we can browse our information. We can see our information. What is the configuration and everything is available. See, this is the browsing. So we can browse the information. Okay, so we cannot create it. We cannot create anything here. So right click here. So we cannot create, edit and everything because we are in the browse tab. If we go to the management, see not only this one, so we can browse whatever we can see, whatever the schemas, physical schemas, what are the logical schemas, what are the agents we have, what is the physical agent, what is the logical agents we have, and what are the context we have, what are the data servers we have. These are the data servers. Under the topology, what do we have? All this information. So whatever we have, so that information can be. Okay, now I can create. Let's see here. I'm creating a data server. I'm creating a new server here. I'm creating a new data server. Okay. So this one, I can create a new server. So whatever we can do with here. So right click here and a new data server. See here, we are creating a new data server. The same thing can be done with this ODI console. So using this ODI console, we can create the topology information. So if you are in the browsing, only in the technology one, you cannot do it. See here, we cannot right click and create. Create is disabled here. Under the technologies one. If you minimize this, So go to the data server, I can create a new data server, create it. If you create it, see here. So what is the basic information? The data server name. Okay. So what is the connection information? So JDBC URL. Okay. JDBC URL, driver and everything. So whatever we can do with here. So the name. Okay. JDBC URL, username and password. So the same information we can give it here, but not that much useful, but some people will use this information also. So using this after connecting, so we can connect it to master repository or work repository. After connecting to master repository, okay, from ODI console application, so we can create or we can configure, all topology related information. We can create or configure all topology related information. We can create or topology information. We can browse, we can see, we can search also. We can search, we can browse topology configuration. So we can see after connecting to master repository. The same time. So this is the browse. So now go to the management. We can create the repositories and we can maintain the repositories. We can create the repositories as well. Say right click here and then create a master repository. So right click here and create a work repository. Okay, right click here, create a master repository. Okay, everybody. Yes or no, please? I have a one master repository.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have a one master repository. So we can see the master repository information. So what is the database, where it is created and everything. So the master repository information. That means, okay, we can create this one and we can manage repositories as well. But generally as well, both master and work repository. Master and work repository. So we can manage all the related information. So we can do only these operations using this master repository connection only. If anybody asks you what are the things we can do with console, okay, so we have to say all these things. We can create, configure the topology related information, like what is the information we can put it here. Topology information means defining the data server, configuring the physical and logical schemas, one minute, sir. Okay. Now you can configure the physical and the logical schemas. You can configure the agents as well. Agents and ETs, other information. We can do this information using this one. Okay. So now this is the connecting to master repository. I'm logging out and then I'm connecting to work repository. Okay. So now earlier we tried with the work repository, master repository. Now I'm trying to connect to work repository. What else we can do it? Okay. So now the design time. Okay, so in the management, we can see the repository connections and repositories only. Management is the same. Okay, so create it. But only thing is that depends upon your privileges. Okay, that depends upon your privileges, that the user configuration. Okay, so now the design time. So the runtime. So that means after connecting to work repository using the operator. after connecting to work repository. Console, we have a 3 options. Basically, on the left hand side, we have a 3 options: runtime, design time, and topology. Topology information. Okay, let's see. So now the runtime means we can see the executions, scenario execution. See here, we have this many number of scenarios in our work repository, and we have nothing, no folder. So the scenarios, what are the scenarios we have? How many scenarios we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you go here, designer, so here the packages, scenarios, I have this scenario. Only one scenario I have in this project. So no other scenarios I have. These are the scenarios from different project. Okay, so what are the scenarios we have? This is the scenario. So right click here and we can refresh. Okay, so we can view, execute. Whenever you execute the scenario, it executes the scenario. Similar to how we executed the scenario. We can execute the scenario or we can execute it. Okay, so under the runtime, we can see the scenarios, load plans, and scenario folders. If you see here, we can see basically it contains scenarios, load plans, and folders. If you see here, so the execution, so the scenarios, and load plans is the one division. Scenarios, load plans, scenario folders is one division, and so the execution details also, how it executes and everything. We can see it. We can monitor the operator. See here sessions. If you double click here, see here, these are all the sessions it executed. We can check it. So why it is failed? Double click it, right click here and then view. It displays the information. See here, what is the error it is? The error is here. The written code is ODI 129 at step. It failed in this step. What is the error it is? Tabular view does not execute. See here, we can see. Okay, see, this is the step it is failed. If you double click here, it displays the serial step. You can go to the more detail where exactly it is failed. This is the one it is failed. Okay, so this is the actual code it's generated. This is the actual code we can generate. See, that means whatever we can do with operator, so that can be do with the console. We don't need to connect it to the console. Sometimes we can directly use the operator and then we can see where exactly it is failed and everything. Everybody is a clear, please? Yes or no, please? Okay, this is the runtime. So in the design time, we can see what are the projects we have and everything. So right click here and then see, we cannot create a project. We can refresh it, but we cannot create a project. If you see here, double click that scenario and right click the view, it displays the how many folders are there. In this folder, how many mappings are there? These are the mappings. How many procedures we have? These are the 2 procedures. And how many packages we have? And how many reusable mappings we have? We can get the details of the project. Okay, but thing is, we cannot create anything here. The design information we cannot. We can browse all the projects related from the design time. So we can browse all projects related information. project related information. The topology also, we cannot create the topology information. We can browse. Topology also cannot create. We can only browse that information. So that's it. These are the data servers we have. So we can browse all topology information. Related information. We can browse all topology related information. This is a simple thing, is a web-based application to monitor all the information. The management tab, the repository information. So we can import master repository. See here, we cannot create the repository. We can import and export. See, because we connected to work repository. So work repository, we can import, we can export the repository, we can import the topology information, we can export the topology information. Okay, but we cannot create it. Everybody is clear? Topology here, I have a one work repository. We can import work repository. So along with this information here, you can see from management tab of ODI console, from work repository connection. Repository connection. So we can export, import, master repository, master and work repository. We can export, import repositories. The second one is we can export, we can topology import and topology information. See, these are the things we can do with the information console. So we can search the object, we can search for a text, we can search here. Okay, everybody, we can search a scenarios, whatever we have. So these are the scenarios we have, and what it is committed and what is the everything is completed. Everybody is clear, or anybody have any doubts, please? Yes or no, please? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It's a basically
Yes,
web application. It's an application, web application. We can monitor the basic information related to this one. So we can connect it to browser. So the browse means we can display all the information. Okay, so here basically three. What is the runtime? That's only for the execution related information. Design time, that means we can browse all the projects and everything, models, global objects. Okay, if you see this project, double click this or view, it displays here. Okay, what are the functions we have? What are the knowledge modules we have used in this project? What are the variables we have? And what are the sequences we have? And what are the folders we have? So this information is available here. So when it is coming to the topology, we can see here. We can create a topology connections and everything. The only thing is if you have a proper privileges, because I connected to the supervisor user. Supervisor means he can do anything on the database. If you connect to your user, with your user to repository, so that means I'm connecting to console application with my user. See here. So here instead of giving the supervisor, I'm giving Vinay and my password. So I can do only the limited functionality. So based on my privileges, I cannot do all functionality. Okay, so that can be controlled by this security. Using this security tab, we can control the operation. So this is, we have a 4 tools, right? So the designer, operator, topology, and the security. Using the security, we can control what operations a user can do in the database. Everybody is clear? Yes or no, please?
sir.
Okay, so this is a ODI console application. It's a simple web application. A web application for browsing and for creating all the information. So they will give you this URL to you. They will give you. So once you join to a organization, okay, they will give you access. Or they might not give also. They might not have WebLogic. They might not have this ODI console. So they can have only operator. whatever we can do with this operator topology designer and everything, so we can do the same thing with this your tool. Okay, everybody? Yes or no, please? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see. We are going to see a one more procedure example. We are going to see a one more procedure example. Okay, let's see. Please observe carefully what I'm trying to do here. Okay. So now I have an interface. I have an interface here. Table to table department. I have an important. Sorry, I have a table. Okay. So this table data I'm loading into this table. Everybody is clear? This table data I'm loading into this table. Getting data from this source table, loading into this table. I want to do the same thing with my procedure. So this is my source and this is my target. Okay, I want to write a procedure for doing the same thing. So this table department is from source local HR schema. This table is from source technology and ODI target. So now I'm creating a procedure, example procedure, PRC load data into department target table. Okay, what is this multi connection? I will tell you in 2 minutes. What is this? Okay, now I'm writing a task. Okay, load data. That is my task name is load department table. Load DEPT department. Okay, so now what is this target command and the source command? First thing is, okay, so now I want to go to the source of technology. I want to read the data from Oracle. What is it? The target technology. I want to write into Oracle. So that is the source technology. So I'm reading from the source technology Oracle and writing into Oracle. Okay, what is this? Source logical schema. So the source logical schema is local source HR. I have a table in this schema. And the target logical schema is where I'm writing it. So source logical schema and logical schema. So what I have a source command here. Source command and then source technology is Oracle and source logical schema is this one. So what is the meaning? Whatever command I am specifying here, so that command is executing on this technology Oracle on this logical schema ls Oracle underscore source. Okay, so now what is the command I am writing here is select just I'm connecting to the database. So departments. So instead of writing, just I'm copying the column names. Select. So I'm giving is C1 is the alias name for this one. You can give or no. C1 is this one, and C2, C3, sorry, C3 and C4 from departments. I'm getting data from this select statement. Yes, I got the data in this select statement. So C1, C2, C3, C4. C1 is department ID and C2 is alias name and C3 C4. So now I want to insert that data into target table. So insert into departments underscore target values. So I'm getting these values from this source command. What we have in the source command? C1, C2. So the colon C1, we have to use this colon command. So the colon means it is reading from the source. C3 and C4. Okay, that's it. So I'm executing the data. So So first the source command is going to execute the data, this one. I'll get the data and I'm inserting into this one. Okay, let's first truncate the table. There is no data in my table. So now let's execute this. Run. Failed. Let's see why it is failed. Table or view does not exist. Okay, what is the code it is inserted into department underscore target table? What is the department's target? Sorry, underscore trg is my table name. Table name wrong. Table or view does not exist. Maybe spelling mistake. That's it. That's not a big deal. Yes, table is there. Yes. I got the point. I got the problem. Yes, but why it is not working? Let's see. I'll explain this one. Okay. So now I'm inserting data into department table, department underscore target. Okay. So now, so this command is executing under the target logical schema ODI 12 target. Okay. If we go to the ODI 12 target. Okay. So now what is the user it is using to connect this one? So this is the user it is connecting, ODI stage. So it is trying to find table in this schema, but we have a table in ODI 12 target schema. That's why put ODI 12 target. So here also the same thing. It's trying to get the data from Scott user because we specified the Scott. If you see here source, see here Scott, but we have a table in HR schema. And the mistake. Everybody is clear with the mistake? Yes or no, please? And no, not enough value.
No, sir.
Yes. So the not enough values. Department underscore target. Department underscore target. What are the values we have? We have a other two. Insert date and inserted by also. Okay. So what I'm doing here is, apart from this one, insert date is system date. And inserted by is ODI procedure. So I'm inserting two values because not enough values. It failed with not enough values. If you see here, not enough values, not enough values. Not enough values means failed here. So this is the command, it is failed. So here in the department underscore target, we have a, how many? We have these many number of columns. We have 6 columns, but we are giving only values to 4 columns. So that's why it is failed. So now I modified that. See, successful. So if you see the data here, see the data is loaded with this one. So that means what is the advantage of this one is, so sometimes we may have to execute the code and then pass between the source and target commands. So then we can use this target command and source command. Everybody is a clear, please? Everybody is a clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చెప్పారా సార్?
ఏంటి మొదటి నుంచా ఓన్లీ డెఫినేషనా?
Only this one. I mean, how to procedure, new procedure, how we can pass the source to target.
Yeah. So source command అనేది మీకు క్లియర్ గా ఉంది ఇక్కడ, right? So this is the command, it is executing on the source. Okay. So now I'm giving a, for each column I'm giving a one alias name, C1, C2, C3 and C4. Okay. So this command executes on the source. But how do you define the source is by specifying the source technology and a source logical schema. So that means this command is going to execute on this source technology Oracle with this logical schema. So okay, logical schema. Now, so it executes this command and I want to pass this information into a target. What are the column aliases we have given? We have given the column aliases is C1 and C2, C3 and C4. So I want to pass this information to target. So here in the insert statement, I used C1, C2, C3, C4 with a colon. Colon indicates it is reading the value, it is getting values from a source command. And the other two columns, system date and ODI process, I want to load as a constant value. And అర్థమైందా? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is this multi-connection? So this multi-connection means this procedure, okay, ODI is going to create multiple connections for a source and a target. So I want to define this ODI. Okay, so I'm configuring this multi-connection. Multi-connections means ODI agent. Who is going to execute this procedure? Agent. Agent is going to execute this procedure. So this agent creates multiple connections, one for source and one for target. That's why I'm configuring this as the multi-connection one. That's why I told you I'll explain this in 2 minutes. So how many connections we need here? We need the two connections here. One is to source technology and another one to the target technology. More than one connection at a time. Multi-connections means to suit multiple connections procedure. So one is command on a source connection and one is command on the target connection. If we don't have a source command, we don't need to check that multi-connection. Okay? Yes or no, please? In Admaida? Okay. So let's see one more procedure we will see with example. Right click here and I'm creating a procedure. So what is this procedure will do is, okay, so what is this procedure will do is EMP10 target table. Let's truncate the data. I don't have data here, but I have a data in my SCART schema. Okay, I have a SCART employee table. Just an example, and I have a data here 30, 20, 10. Okay, I want to load the data only based on this parameter. Based on this parameter only, I want to create a procedure with this one. With options, So now first let's create an option. So the department number, P department number. So it's a value and the default value is 10. This is the value I'm giving. So sorry, 30 is my value I'm giving. Okay, so I created a one department procedure. Super. I want to use this value in my task. EMP10. So now the source technology is Oracle, and target technology is Oracle, because it's both Oracle, and then target logical schema is ODI 12 target, and source logical schema is SCOT, because I want to read it from the SCOT schema now. Okay, what is this source command? Select star from select from SCOT dot employee table, where department number is equal to, so now here I need to read value of my option. Okay, if you want to read an option, so that can be read with ODI substitution options. So the get option value, I want to read option value, so we have to use this substitution methods. Okay, here the string is, so what is the name we gave? P department number. See here, so the P department number is our option we have given. So I'm reading a value of this variable using this substitution method. The substitution method is too complex for the initial stage. That's why I'm not stressing this much. Okay, so this one I got the data and insert into emp underscore 10 underscore trg dot values C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8. So how many columns we have here? I'm loading the data into department 10 table. So the total salary, just load with null as my total salary. That's it. So I got this data from here, from department number, where department number value. So an option, what option I gave? The department number 30. So let's change it to 10, because the table we mentioned is 30. Execute this. So ODI, it reads the parameter from the operator options. See, that's it. Execute it. What is the code it executed? It's null. See here, the department number 30. It reads those values. Department number value, it reads the department number value and it executed the data. It replaces that value. Okay, see here only the data. It's a reading an option. So the option value, procedure options. So the save, this is the value. It is because I did not save after changing the department number 10. That's why it takes the 30 only, previous value. But this is the one. So how to read these options? These options will read using this ODI reference dot get option reference variable. ODI reference dot get option. So this is the, so then these are called as a ODI reference as the substitution variable. So the substitution functions, the substitution APIs. So we can use those substitution APIs for reading a option values. If you want to see more number of substitution APIs, we can see here. These are all the substitution APIs. These substitution APIs will be useful in the customizing the knowledge module. So the knowledge module, the customization is very useful, those options. Everybody is a clear place? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
can change this value. Let's say department into with options. I'm creating a scenario for this. Okay, I'm creating a scenario for procedure. I can create a scenario for the procedure, and I created the scenario on 1.0.0. Yes. So right click here, and then let's see. Created the scenario. Right click here and then run it. Session started. So the same thing. So we can execute that scenario again. See here, second time it loaded with only 10 because this time the value is changed. Okay, everybody is a clear place? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So these procedures can be used in our mappings. See here, if you see this package, just we can drag and drop these procedures. We can link it. Wherever you want, we can link that procedures directly. See here, I link this procedure here. I can link it wherever you want. Okay, I don't want to link this one. So that's the way I want to show you, because I can directly execute a procedure with a right click and then execute the scenario. We can export this scenario and we can import into the production environments. Okay, so we can call any one of these ODI tool. These are the tools, right? Package tools. All these package tools can be invoked from the procedure. Can be invoked from this procedure task. That's why I told you we can write any code in the ODI task. It can be Oracle, or it can be a SQL Server, or it can be a file, or it can be a XML technology, or it can be a anything open tool, or I can call a scenario from a procedure task. But only thing is you need to practice more. Everybody is a clear place? Yes or no, please? నేను చెప్పేది 80% of the code and complex, complete concepts of ODI and how to use and basic examples. So you need to practice more. We may need not to practice all the sessions, but you need to know. That means we can call. So if anybody asks you, I want to execute a scenario from procedure, is it possible? Yes, it is possible with the help of this ODI open tool. I can call this open tool and I can execute the procedure. So he will ask you, so how can I execute a Java code from can I execute a Java code from ODI? Yes, we can execute a Java code from ODI using a procedure, because procedure, wherever logic is not possible to implement in the mapping, so that can be implemented with the ODI procedure. So the procedure contains a set of tasks. Task is nothing but a command. So it has a source command and a target command. We can pass values from source command to the target command. So that command technology can be anything like Oracle, SQL, PL SQL, Java, SQL Server. Anything can be written with these procedures. So this procedure can be integrated in the ODI. Okay, everybody, please. So this is done and this is done, and we have only these 4 topics. We'll try to finish by this weekend, or at maximum we can in the Monday or Saturday and Sunday. Okay, everybody? Yes or no, please?
Yes, sir.
ఓకే సార్, రేపు లోడ్ ప్లాన్స్ చూద్దాం. లోడ్ ప్లాన్స్ అనేది ఏమీ ఉండదండి. దిస్ ఈస్ ద వెరీ సింపుల్. ఓకే, ఫీచర్స్, ప్యాకేజెస్, సినారియోస్ ని ఒక ఆర్డర్ లో పెట్టి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయటాన్ని లోడ్ ప్లాన్స్ అంటాం. ఓకే, వి విల్ సీ లోడ్ ప్లాన్స్ టుమారో. ప్లీజ్ ప్రాక్టీస్. ప్లీజ్ ప్రాక్టీస్. ఓకే.